You already pressed the button.
God damn it! Anyways, welcome back to Denzicaster, y'all.
Admiral Ragbor should have spoken right quickly.
We looked too close and saw the Windows 95 logo.
I think it's a good thing I didn't see this in the theater. But teabag that motherfucker.
All that and more this week on Denzicaster.
Welcome everyone to Electric City Sentai Denzicaster. I'm your host, David Fleshman. Alright, so we're gathered today to do Denzicaster without our host, Mike Brown, who just happened to have a wonderful wedding today.
Incredible. Congratulations.
Indeed.
To you, my man. Hopefully you and Kana will have many, many wonderful years to go.
And hopefully, children down the road to just remind you and have your parents laughing and laughing.
Well, I'm about to say, his kid's going to have many, many uncles.
So as you can tell, I'm joined right now by Joe and Chris Brown.
Hey, the wandering around's got to go somewhere.
Yay!
We will also have William, and we may also hear voices of my daughter and my pal Mike Nodine. We are going to watch Pacific Rim today. So as we are Toku adjacent, kind of,
Hey,
Denzicaster.
Yes.
Yeah.
we got our kaiju.
I should have just said Denzicaster adjacent, since we don't have our host.
True.
I got to pick the programming, and so I decided to take things that were in the same flavor, just slightly to the left.
That works.
So,
I feel bad for Ryan McAllister. I wish him the best luck of recovering.
Yeah.
He would have loved to see Pacific Rim right now.
Who knows? We may even record a special guest commentary section with them later. No promises, but
who
it
knows?
might be a good idea.
Mike may get this and go, oh God, no, this is all crap. I'm not taking any of this garbage.
At which point you might hear a few voices and clips in, peanut gallery sections.
That's right.
Yeah.
All what he does.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to stop this, start the movie, and see you guys on the flip side.
Yay. Just press the button.
You already pressed the
Button has
button.
been
God
pressed.
damn it. Anyways, welcome back to Denzicaster, y'all.
We just got finished watching Pacific Rim to many, many inside jokes from the peanut gallery.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is probably the best way of watching Pacific Rim.
Probably the best way of watching a lot of movies, actually.
The one problem of an IMAX experience, you can't make commentary like that. Or
So you can, but they ask you to leave, right?
or other people who do that ruin your experience, which is what Chris Brown had gone through when he saw this.
I saw this in theaters. The problem is, the crowd was really into it. So there's a lot of things I missed or didn't really pick up on. So, and I've only seen this movie once. I don't actually own this movie. So
Effectively, I'm the only one with any expertise in this movie because I've seen it like 5 times.
Shoot, if Ryan was here, he probably would have told
Ryan would just
Would
look
be
at
like-
me and go away, yes.
Yeah, basically, do you know anything? And it was like, y'all don't know anything about kaiju. It's like, but, enough
I
said.
mean, he could go through and tell us about all, the entire system of categories and all that. I just take a wild ass guess at it if we have to explain these things, but
Yeah.
It's big. I mean, really. It's 23 stories tall. It's 51 stories tall.
Well, thank you for noticing.
All right, so
wow.
you want to do our tried and true something you liked?
Well,
I'm gonna skip the synopsis because I'm really
it's
bad at
specific.
synopsis.
Well,
Hey,
it's
well,
not just that, but
no.
it's specific.
You know what it says? It's Pacific Rim. Assuming that somebody's listening and may not necessarily know Pacific Rim per se.
Well, do you want to do this?
That's kind of more setting than necessarily a synopsis necessary.
Well,
But
you
that's
still give us. You still give a synopsis for it.
All right. Well,
I think
short version. Y'all jump in if I miss something.
Okay.
All right.
In the Pacific Ocean, there's a rift. Giant monsters are coming out of the rift. They're coming out at very long intervals at the beginning of the movie. It takes, 6 days to kill the first one using conventional war?
6 days, 7 hours, I think is the quote timeline.
Right.
Conventional warfare sucks against the kaiju, basically.
So they start building giant robots to kill them in hand-to-hand combat.
I actually didn't do that until the 4th one.
And then they...
So they realized, oh, this isn't a fluke.
Well, okay. And then they realized...
That and the fact they don't want to nuke every city on the planet just to kill them.
That's true.
And then
I don't think they ever used a nuke.
Yeah, they said they used some form.
They've nuked the Rift.
No, like they used I thought they said they used something about using a small nuke to kill the first one. That's the only way they killed the first one. That's what I thought.
That may be a detail I missed.
Well, I guess we'll just
But that
go
was
watch the damn thing again.
They would have done it in San Francisco, though. That's one of the things that's like...
But yeah, they were talking about that, and they were talking about the collateral damage from killing it as well as the damage that the kaiju itself
it
did,
only got 35 miles inland. Only. In 6 days and change. It's a little bit of a fucking problem.
Well, and then the death toll was counted in the 10,000s.
So apparently America has a wonderful evacuation plan for a Godzilla attack. Who knew?
Yay!
I don't think you need too much of an evacuation plan for run the fuck away.
Yeah, all right.
Like I said, they keep
It's
attacking...
oh shit, there's a giant monster over there. I think we better leave.
Have you seen them trying to evacuate the cities in Independence Day? Yeah, no, you need a plan for that shit.
Yeah.
That's true. You wanna?
In any case, we're tangenting.
Sure.
Please continue.
Well, anyhow, they make robots, and then we learned that, well, one person's brain can't handle the requirements of the robots, so they make a link system so that they can share Pokemon from brain to brain. I mean, sorry. 1994 callback. So that's where we go, and the main character, him and his brother, are in Alaska.
2020, year 2020.
Yeah, 2020, beating the crap out of giant monsters.
Pretty much. So, beginning
Looking to
setting.
put another kill on the kill board.
Yep.
Really good at it and got famous for it.
They get
Well,
a little.
that
They
was
do get.
something
I
that
mean,
happened
but
with
no,
every pilot.
Yeah, but
They
They're-
did become kind of like rock stars.
Yeah, they become like
But
the
in-
more
but in
famous
this
other
se-
famous.
But in this sense, they've gotten cocky a little bit.
They did.
Like going into this fight. So during the middle of the fight, they use their plasma ray that takes 20 years to charge up, and shoot the kaiju. At which they think, oh great, fantastic, it's dead. They go to
The signal hadn't disappeared. It's not dead. Keep an eye out, guys.
get the boat and get out of here.
Oh, yeah. By the way, the only reason they were in a bad position for this entire fight was, they decided to save a boat full of civilians. Instead of, 2-point-some-odd million?
I don't think that was the only reason.
Yeah, that wasn't
but-
the only reason.
Fighting in waist-deep water apparently is the worst possible terrain for these things. Underwater, apparently okay,
Yeah.
as we find out.
And on land.
On land, okay. Waist-deep water, you're fucked.
Yeah, I know, right?
This is a trend.
Well, I'm a big fan of like book report synopsis.
Yeah.
Short. Hey, we're gonna give you a little taste of it. So the short version is they get in a fight. There's some problems, and later on down the road, the problems become the whole problem for the world. And one of the pilots has got to relearn how to be a pilot again because he quit for like 5 years. And they got one great last-ditch plan, and that's Pacific Rim. Right?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
I mean,
Pacific Rim, the movie that wouldn't have happened as it did if the politicians didn't get involved.
All right.
Oh, yeah, let's build a wall.
yeah,
Build a wall.
Build a wall.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's
'cause
how
that
it
works.
works.
Yay.
So apparently, Pacific Rim thinks Donald Trump's going to win the president election.
And they failed to learn from the Great Wall of China.
Well, see, that's funny. Is the Great Wall of China wasn't built to keep the Mongols out. It was they're going to steal our shit. Let's make it really hard for them to take it home.
Pretty much. I mean, shoot. I mean, there's been many series of shows we can probably name where a giant wall just didn't work either after a while or at all. You know,
Or historical
Thank you.
Well, Chris said,
I mean, Attack on Titan. I mean, sure. Sure, they were safe for 100 years. For this wall, and it was like, oh, great, cool. Then all of a sudden, what happens? A giant freaking Titan shows up, kicks the wall down like there's nothing.
one of the first little nursery rhymes you ever learned was Humpty Dumpty, and he had a bad day on a wall.
So, from here on, let's get our thoughts on the movie. I mean, Joe, what do you think? Your highlights on it? I mean, the good
You
side.
don't watch a movie 5 times in a row or 6 times now and not like the damn thing.
Well, what
It's
do you
big
like
stuff,
about
you
it?
roll out fun.
Can I interrupt you for just a second?
Yeah.
Mr. Nodine?
Yes.
You had best be ready. Listen to his answer. Listen to the question. You're going to participate.
All right.
One of us. One of us.
Oh,
one
God.
of us. Go ahead. Sorry.
God, where do I start?
At the beginning.
Okay.
Work your way towards the middle.
Okay. The movie plot itself is campy. It's not meant to be this, like, AAA blockbuster of a plot.
No.
It's simple. And it's perfect for what it is. I really like all the designs, the CG that they wind up doing in the designs, and the mix of CG and practical effects. Because one of the things I'm pretty certain of, and I'm sure Ryan could correct me if I was wrong, the kaiju were basically rubber suits with some CG touch-up effects. I believe the robots...
And some LED lighting, maybe?
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of glowing in them.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the robots were the same. Men in suits, weren't they?
That I couldn't tell you. Like I said, Ryan was
It's
here.
been too
he'd be
long since I
perfect.
discussed this with Ryan.
All right.
But, you know, you get the mix of practical and CG effects for this. Pulls off wonderfully. I love the designs. We have some issues with certain weapons suddenly being effective. But we'll get to that later, I suppose. But in terms of like, there's just a lot to like.
True. All right. Fair. Will, how about you? What do you
Oh.
have? Really?
Did I have to call you out too? Mr. Harrison, listen to the question and the answer.
I
and
did
prepare
listen to the question and the answer.
What'd you
Thank
like?
you.
That's why you don't get a gold star on your paper.
Apparently, you like enough that he's got.
Holding out. I ain't part of your system.
All right. What you
I
got?
need your gold star to validate my life.
That was a good answer. So, actually, like, I was more entranced by some of the mecha designs. There was some part, but you're right. The plot is just, like, simple as most
It's
monster
paper
movies are.
thin, but it wasn't pretending to be more than that. So
True, and that's
it gets
that's one of the
props.
best things I like about that is just like we know this is what this movie's about. We're not going to try and bullshit you. Say, oh, there's some deeper meaning to this. No, it's a monster movie.
I mean, that was
this is happening, and you're good.
Let's be
Look at
realistic.
the Transformers movies. They try to have a legit plot.
Let's,
Doesn't work.
let's be realistic.
We want to see Transformers. That's it.
If there's a deeper plot, it's don't buy Chinese medicine harvested by Ron Perlman. I mean,
But, yeah, I actually do like some of the monster designs as well. Although there was the one big monster that was roaming through the city, the one that put out the EMP pulse, is definitely based off a gorilla. So,
yeah, he was a big hefty guy.
you know.
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
I
like
thought
the way he
Ron Perlman
walked,
that way.
the way he walked, and his part of his character design was, I could tell that.
You figure at some point, because the way the Rift and their studies work, they probably picked up some of the terrestrial wildlife to base certain
Which
things
would-
off of to try different design flaws out.
Which would make sense.
Like a
But then-
Category
but then
5
they
friend has a lot of tentacular madness
Yes.
and moves really, really well like a squid through water.
True.
I mean, it's only the tentacles that you see for that. But, what
But
about yourself, Chris?
But me, myself, to be honest, it's a great spectacle. I mean,
It is that.
for everything that is, I mean, shoot. Simple plot, you're waiting for the action, and that's pretty much what they gave you. Now, granted, a lot of the action is just like any other pretty much Tokusatsu style show. You know, we see slow build-ups up until we get to, you know, a lot of our bigger fights, a lot of more important fights, and we kind of start seeing some really cool. Let's see, Suplex City we mentioned earlier. The Superman Punch. I mean, we're talking like, you know, all these like great things.
Things that evolved after the movie
After
came
the
out,
movie's
but are
been-
meant so much of a value-added thing.
It really is, but like I said, to me it's just a wonderful spectacle to watch. You know, great CG, great everything else, but that's about what I got out of it for myself. How about you, Mr. Nodine?
Well, I'm not a big fan of the kaiju monster battles, and the CGI bugs me to an extent. But I wasn't exactly looking for a world-shaking plot here. You know, the acting was what
You
it
get what you
needed,
came for.
what it needed to be. You know, I wasn't expecting, you know, Gone with the Wind. You know, seeing Ron Perlman walk around being a badass, which is what he's resigned himself to, and now in his career, that's fine. That's all well and good. You
He
wait
does it
for that
well.
moment.
Michael,
Yes.
Ron Perlman, Danny Trejo, buddy exploration film. In an RV going across the nation.
See, I'd watch that.
Wow.
Directed by Quentin Tarantino.
There we go.
Actually, that would be amazing.
We're gonna need shotguns for that shit.
And shot glasses.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Fleshman, I believe it's your turn.
Well, I'm going to play the devil's advocate, and obviously I could parrot everything you guys said because I agree with it.
Okay.
And I know Mike said, or Nodine, since we don't want to make Mr. Brown confusing to our listeners.
He's busy.
Right, but, they might go, oh, Mike, it's the other one. He hit on the acting, and I get where you're going with that, but I think that's a positive. I think, A, they tried to give a little bit of humanity to it.
Well,
Yeah.
And B, it was just enough that you could believe, hey, these are almost three-dimensional people. And I don't have to get hit over the head with a 2x4 by it.
Even the comedy characters, air quotes here.
Oh, those scientists?
The parascientists, they had personality. They were amusing for
They
what they
actually
needed to do,
they actually
and they
had
were
purpose.
relevant. Yeah,
Yeah.
They had
Yeah,
purpose, they were
but
relevant.
that's the thing to it. Their purpose in the movie was, so high up on the scale. It's their comedy bit just kind of was like, to me, it was something that I could just sweep under and be like, okay, that's.
I found that kind of annoying, but the story needed them.
Yes.
And their characters, while annoying to me, seemed competent for the setting. And it didn't bother me that much.
You couldn't, in this type of movie, rely purely on physical
Well, sure.
tension breakers.
Sure.
I say that because in one of our extended battles, as a tension breaker to keep the action fresh and rolling, we have a punch that goes through a building, slows down, and hits a Newton's cradle to start the Newton's cradle bit going back and forth.
Yeah.
A physical act. It
Yeah.
worked as a tension breaker, but you couldn't do that.
But you see, like I said, that's
had to
something
have-
that you see in a lot of tokusatsu here and there. They try to keep things from being too serious.
Yeah.
We know they're fighting to save the world, or we know they're doing this, but
We also know
The-
you're watching a giant-ass robot and a giant-ass creature do.
Right.
yeah.
So I guess personally, like I was saying, my favorite part about it was the people were believable people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything. I guess douchebag and his dad. They were the most unbelievable. Douchebag was.
It
I
kind of
think they
was.
4 times.
I
Yeah.
think the son was the worst. I don't know
Character.
if it was acting or if it was how the character was written.
No, I don't have any
But-
problem with the actor. It was the character.
It was the
was just-
Character. Yeah.
The father, I had no gripes with. But
totally.
The son was the worst
It-
person in the entire movie.
you know what? We're gonna go risk our lives. The 8 of us, even though there's only 5 of us in the room, we're gonna save the world. But totally, I gotta piss in your cornflakes and pick on you because I'm awesome.
The only problem I had with the father, a couple times I noticed, hey, you're dropping your Australian accent.
Yeah, that did
But
happen.
you have to figure he's probably the most world-traveled of any of the foreigners because the Chinese guys, they never speak in anything but Chinese, so where would they
Nor do
learn
they
to
really have
drop an
much to
accent?
do in the movie.
No, that was
Well-
a shame too, but alright.
But
I do remember Ryan saying that about this once. Oh boy, poor old Ryan's ears are going to be burning. But I remember him saying that this movie, it had the 4 robots, and only 2 of them mattered. That you didn't get to see what the Russian robot or the Chinese robot could do.
Well, to be fair,
I want a buffet at 11 o'clock at night.
Well, before we get to the opposite side of this, to kind of figure out, with the robots at this point, that to the plot point of where the monsters are at in terms of, I guess, intelligence in a way, is
effectiveness,
maybe, is they're when we find out that they're
Coming out faster from the rift.
No, I'm trying to get at it's more like when we find out that they're in a hive mentality, that they're all sharing the same wavelength. It's not surprising, per se, as a theory to this movie, that as we're killing each kaiju, per se, they're also still learning from what they see or
And
what
one of
they've
the
come
other
up
things
against.
is, as at the point where it's down to just 4,
Yeah.
Jaegers have been losing.
Yes, so
it has become a regular thing. So the kaiju are learning what's more effective anyway. They're still trying new tactics.
Yes.
Suddenly, I'm having a deja vu moment. I don't know why.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said the EMP moment where me and you kind of had a little debate on whether or not they would have learned that from what source per se.
Yeah. it's something that might have developed over time, or it's maybe something they got.
I
from the
look at
Drift
it
moment.
like, you know, the kaijus are like, well, we're gonna send 2 of them up there. Well, we know these things are probably electricity or something of that nature. Let's do something to fight against that. Look at that. We sent the kaiju that can do an EMP. Wow, holy shit. I was like,
I mean, for
now what
all
do
we
do?
know, the Masters, who we see like in 2 different scenes, that's about it.
Yeah.
For all we know, they were looking at that on the feedback in the hive mind, going, "Oh shit, that worked! Really?"
All right. Well,
Go ahead and make that standard in the next year, model boys.
Exactly.
We're going places.
Now,
And then it didn't work in Gypsy Danger, so of
True.
the 3, you
Yes.
didn't see that ability again.
That's true.
Coincidence? Maybe. You know, there's
Well,
so
to
many
be
different things
fair,
about
the
it.
last 3 were very more water-based because they stayed in the water and they were
Yeah.
very quick swimmers and stuff. They were
Yeah.
defense models.
Yeah,
pretty much.
We have a budget.
Well, let's go to the opposite side of the spectrum because I'm sure we all had hiccups with the movie beyond it being a spectacle, simple plot, and yada yada.
You want to start it?
To be honest, I'd rather not.
Oh, okay.
If anything, since you want to play a little bit of a devil's advocacy earlier, why don't you start us off on the bads?
I agree.
Let's see the negative I had about it. Other than William, buddy, I'm gonna let you have physics, okay? I'm gonna let you have that moment in physics where we all just went, "What the hell?" Cliche.
Yes.
The cliche was very strong in this movie. In fact, one time I made a joke that one of the characters, he got cleaned up, took a shower, put on his cologne, cliche, put on his new underwear, Calvin cliche, not laced up his cliche sneakers, put on his uniform, and went to cliche work. I mean, you are going to see 3 to 5 important plot points.
Well,
They got a big green sign up, says plot point ahead, 15 miles, get ready on the right. You're going to see it. If that's a problem for you, I think you're going to be unhappy. And if it's not, I think you can live with it.
All right, fair enough.
William, since he set you up for one.
I'm gonna go with like some of the cliches in it, and there was actually a bit of foreshadowing that when I heard it, I was just like, yeah, they're gonna die. Yeah, they're gonna die. Yeah, they're definitely gonna die. And that was mainly like when they introduced the Russian squad, and then they introduced the Chinese squad, and the Russian squad. It was just the way they introduced the Russian squad. It was like they've never lost a battle. I was like, ha ha! Bet you money they're gonna lose one at some point, and it's gonna be near the end of this movie.
Well, the other thing is, they were also piloting a Mark 1 still. It's like,
but
you
still,
are the gutter trash, you're gonna die.
Well, no, it's like I'm pretty sure that really didn't have anything to do with it. It said something about their skill that they were still using that Mark 1, and I'm pretty sure they had modified it to a point where, because they said they'd all been upgraded and retrofitted. That's the reason why EMP worked on all that shit. So,
Quite possible.
So my whole point with that was like, if they never needed to actually do anything except for retrofit it due to electronics and shit like that, then they were doing a good fucking job. But unfortunately, you really can't win them all. You can only go so far before you finally come up against opponents that's just like, that's all you
Well,
got.
that's true.
And
I
the
mean,
team tactics left something to be desired in that one.
Well, it was the whole
it
thing about the
was
tactics
2
that
on
they
1,
used.
and then 2 on 1 again, and
Well,
then 2 on 1.
It's because
and 2 on 1.
they were searching for, because I was wondering, okay, there's 2 signatures, why is that other one not attacking? To me, that just seemed like one of them is waiting to see if one of them falls, or if the other one really needs to come in and help. And then when it got to a point where the Chinese one basically fell.
You know, that's an interesting twist there. That the
Yeah.
monsters had tactics and the humans
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
See, that was my whole like way of thinking when I saw that scene, which is one of the things like when I was making the comment earlier about there might not be anything deep to this movie, but that was one of the things that if you didn't notice it, you wouldn't never thought of it.
I did.
But that
That's
was one of the
true.
things that I was just like, so there's 2 signatures, only one monster's attacking.
Where's the
Where's
other
the-
one?
Where's the second monster? What is he doing?
And
And
then
basically
we
he
find
ends
out,
up laying in wait. So
and then we find out not 2 scenes after, and because it's one of these extended battle sequences anyway, we find out about the hive mind bit.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, it's not just tactics. It's I know what you're doing. I'm gonna get over here and be ready to wait.
I'm actually waiting to see if my partner can handle the two of you before I jump in, which is pretty much what he ends up doing.
Well, he also
he
was
does-
a slower model, period.
Yeah, but he was definitely a slower one, which is like, because when he attacks, he opens up with the EMP. Well, actually, no.
He jumps on the back of the Russian.
He jumps on the back of the Russian to pulls it down.
Yeah, because he'd spit acid. That's what he'd done.
The one
and
monster
opened
spit
up
acid.
the hole,
and
then drowned them.
It was like, okay, we have the advantage. Now I'm going to attack.
The EMP bit of the tactics was definitely a hive mind trick because they saw, this.
They got reinforcements coming in.
Well, it's not the reinforcement bit. It was the opening up for the rocket chest barrage thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which click.
Which is why I'm thinking like they remember that shit and they're like, no, we're gonna stop that. It's like because we know that can kill us.
And another thing, I was like, I kind of had some problems with some of the physics of it. Definitely at the very end when it crash lands from more than 50,000 feet, basically from the fucking stratosphere, and it only caused a little damage. Granted, the little retro booster shit that it did at that one point was
which is
done to
actually
offset
fuel venting.
Yeah, which I mean, in theory, that could work to offset some of the speed of the falling,
as well as get the gyroscope
but
standard.
Yeah,
which is
it's really
one
good
of
to
the other
understand
things.
it going flat. Which, if you have it coming straight down, since the weight is not completely dispersed flat out, there won't be as big of an area. Which is the whole thing of like the damage you were talking about. Yeah, it should have been a lot greater. If he had landed face down going the same speed, yes, it would have been a ton greater.
I just assumed that it should have been buried up to its hips in the earth. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was the. But that was the whole that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Especially in Hong Kong, where
in the middle of that
where's
football
the subway?
field.
But yeah, it was like they landed on a football field of all things, and it was the whole thing of like, there should have still been a lot more damage, even because in order for that theoretically to have worked, you would have wanted to do that a lot closer to the ground than a lot of people would have been comfortable believing. So that was my whole argument. I was like, that could have worked, but at the altitude they decided to do that at, no, that would have definitely not worked the way they wanted it to.
I don't have a lot of hates about the movie. I don't have a lot of dislikes. I guess one of my biggest pet peeves about it all was the armament choices. We know conventional arms are shit fucking awful.
Yeah.
Why does suddenly a 6-rocket barrage so damn effective?
It's delivered at point blank range, maybe?
And possibly they're not explosive tipped.
Well, like I said, when that one dude picked up a handful of transport containers and was punching him in the side of the head with it, transport containers in the world of metal are pretty thin.
Yeah.
Now, when the one guy showed up with the boat and started using it as a two-handed sword, that made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I wasn't as bothered by that because it was what they're going for is, hey, they're adding mass to the punch. It's the same as that palming a roll of quarters before you slug somebody.
But the difference between the storage containers and the roll of quarters is there's weight in the roll of quarters. The storage containers are not as solid as the roll of quarters.
Yeah, all the quarters are stuck together.
That's basically
bring that force in like a hammer.
Whereas they crushed several containers together. It's a loose analogy. It's not something I would pick about as much as the rocket.
They could have put two simple, short barrels and 120mm cannons in the fist, and when he hit the dude, had that shoot at the same time.
There's actually an assassination weapon like that in World War III.
Right, it had like a press.
World War II.
Wow.
My bad.
It had like
Sorry.
a button in the glove, and when you'd punch, it would release like a 22 caliber bullet.
Like they used in Glorious Bastards.
Yeah, it wasn't a 22.
Yeah,
it was actually a little bit. It was like what would be like a 25 caliber bullet, which is a little bigger.
But all of us were sitting here going, now maybe many of us, like Mike and I, Robotech buddy.
Oh yeah.
You Battletech for William, and I don't know what you guys were into.
Battletech was made first.
Battletech and
Robotech will be coming.
Yeah, okay. So all of us are like mech freaks to various levels.
Yeah.
We are all looking at this going, form blazing sword. Goddamn, hit him with a building. Come on, do something.
There were a lot of those moments. Yeah.
It's nice to play your Rocky moment, but Rocky didn't have body parts falling off.
See,
That's
I think it's a good thing I didn't see this in the theater. Teabag that motherfucker.
Well,
hey,
A Halo reference strikes again.
No, go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, it was what it was. I mean, it wasn't completely horrible, but it was what I expected. And the only thing that really bugged me, I wanted to see the fucking dog plugged in and drift with his owner. I wanted to see him bite a kaiju monster. Lift his leg and piss on it. Just for the comedy value that I saw, potential to happen.
So you know nothing else about it, just really just kind of ticked you off?
I didn't hate it. I didn't, awesomely love it. It
Kinda
was
neutral.
what it was.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
picky for the armament bit.
fair. Sorry. Well, I guess if I had an issue with it, it's watching a lot of the fight scenes from so not like the beginning of the movie fight scene where it's years before, where some things are a little bit slower to build,
Right.
blah, blah, whatnot. But more towards the end, 5 years later, and we're seeing blah, blah, stuff.
Like 2025.
Yeah, it's a question. Why did the first couple fight scenes we're still seeing these fights last 20 minutes give or take per se, where later on towards the end of the movie, even though it still took 20 minutes because they were trying to build the fight, they had many things that made the whole fight last, maybe 5 minutes realistically. Because it was
a 20-minute fight, but 8 of it was running through town trying to catch the rope.
Exactly. I always thought to myself, I know I'm watching a Tokusatsu film for all intents and purposes, but I sit there and kind of go, come on, y'all. I'm about to say, besides the little sword bit where they're like, hey, we still have one extra weapon or whatever type deal, there are a lot of those fights where we're starting to see, the big moves and stuff like that to kind of show off what these robots can do, and I kind of go, the earlier fights, we didn't see any of that.
Why weren't you doing that to begin with?
I was like, we didn't see any of that. We just saw a bunch of, all right, we're going to box you for a second. I'm like, no. Now we go into, hey, guess what? I can suplex you. I can do this to you. I'm like...
Taking your point and William's point just compounds the stupidity of the humanity in this group.
Yes.
It's like, there's a monster coming. We should totally send out one robot guy. Just one. Hey, there's a tank corps coming. Let's just send out one tank corps. One-on-one. Let's make it even. No. When the United States Army rolls up, they roll up hard, they roll up deep, son.
But at the end of the film, when they rescue the 2 people, what do you see? Oh, about 12 gunships.
Yeah, like 46 helicopters.
Just to make sure,
Same 2 dudes.
Partly. Because that's not... Part of the
It's
problem,
like 30 helicopters
early in
and
the
all,
movie, why it's
25 guns.
one-on-one,
It was
is
like,
the
28
deployment
gunships
range.
and
It
2
took them
rescue
14
ships.
months to build one.
that's
A
why...
massive portion of the military-industrial complex.
Yes. But see,
All
that's
right, now
why...
hold on.
But see, that's why I said, excluding the beginning of the movie, where we're showing the early stages of this Jaeger still realistically the early stages of the Jaeger program, and going 5 years in the future, where the Jaeger program has kind of updated.
But
we're
it's
still
also
not.
like
We're
no
still.
funding.
Yeah. By that time, they weren't getting any funds.
They were
getting shut down and doing the whole wall thing.
I'm talking
They were
about
doing
I'm talking about the fights, not necessarily.
2013 was when the first monsters were supposed to be coming out. 2020 at the beginning of the movie. 7 years.
Yes.
That's supposed to be the heyday. That's when they were winning all the time, and now they're starting to have a decline. The main...
Because this was one of the first big defeats.
Yeah.
Or what we're supposed to see is
fair. Yes.
My deal is, taking what you said, it took 14 months to make the first one. Okay. And he won. So they make a second one. Then they make a third one. Why aren't they working together? Yes, I get that one outpost had to be in Canada, and one outpost had to be in someplace West Coast Canada. One had to be in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? Just to try to get where they needed to be. I get that.
That part makes sense.
But, I mean, eventually, you gotta work together, man. You gotta bring more to the fight than just one dude.
Which is why I'm thinking, okay, but I'm thinking we should be seeing way more Jaegers if it only takes 14 months to kind of do whatever, because the kaijus were coming out fairly slow.
Yeah, in the beginning.
We're kind of going,
Every
okay,
kaiju
one-on-one.
took half the time to show up from the former gap. That was something we saw of a simple mathematical progression. The movie kind of plays fast and loose with it at the very end.
Right.
Because
it's
supposed to be 3 more days and then a triple event, and it's not. And But, one of the problems with the whole aspect on that regard, though, we're losing Jaegers at that point.
Yes.
And
all the more reason to double down with them.
Yeah.
You get some scenes where you see tag team events in the cinematic portion of the credits before you get the bonus scene with Ron Perlman. So that probably happened at some point, and that would help explain why there's only 4
left, yeah.
by the time of we're doing this one last hurrah.
And
those 4 are supposed to last 8 months for the wall to be completed.
Yeah.
But stupid. I know. But see, what I was trying to get at wasn't necessarily the progression of storyline fights or storyline progression of the Jaegers and the Jaeger program. More of these 4 robots or whatever robots we have left, whatever fights they may or may not have been in throughout the years. It's after we get that 5-year skip and we're seeing fights, I'm still not seeing a huge jump in how they're fighting, or their choice of choreography for the fights versus towards the end where I'm thinking.
What you're saying is they fought pretty much the same way both times.
Yeah.
Now why are they all of a sudden
now
successful?
why all of a sudden, boom, this is consistency. I can do wrestling moves.
There's
and do
a bit
this.
of inconsistency. Some of that may have been upgrades. We don't know.
Yeah.
There is, however, also the fact, in terms of the tactics-oriented side of it, these are Jaegers who never would have worked together. You have a Russian Jaeger, a Chinese Jaeger, an Australian Jaeger, and a U.S. Jaeger. If they had pack tactics, it was probably like a U.S. 2 U.S. Jaegers, or a U.S. and a Canada Jaeger, or a pair of South. Actually, if anything, if South America had any Jaegers, and I'm not sure, Ryan would know, period, because he would know the lore. If they had them,
is there
they
more
were
to this
the first
story
ones
that
to
I'm
do
not
that.
aware of?
They've developed a lot more lore for the whole
setting.
they've done. He would know it. I don't. I'm basing off of the movie.
Mike and Will went out to smoke, so.
They'll be back eventually.
But I was gonna say was in Robotech, you had Destroids, which were the ground-based mecha.
Yeah.
You had like the Mac 2, which was a great long-range weapon platform. You had the Raider X, which was anti-aircraft.
Yeah.
You had the Gladiator, which was the one with hands, and it was versatile. You had the Excalibur, which was a walking missile launcher.
Yeah.
And then, you had everyone's favorite, the Veritech, which was the transforming jet fighter.
Yeah.
You didn't send out 3 gladiators to do something. You mixed and matched these mecha because you needed the versatility of what each one could do.
There's not a standard design pattern with Jaegers, though.
Well, that's the other aspect.
That's fair. It's just that I looked at this and go, we must be pretty dumb to not really come up with a plan B or a plan C, because we watch.
I get where you're going with that.
Yeah, because we watch this and go, okay, all right, Chinese are going first, Russians are behind, the Australians, I think, have the nuke or whatever they're doing to go do their job.
We're on reserve to try and preserve them for the mission.
Sure.
Which makes sense, but it doesn't make sense why they didn't go ahead and send out ships.
What I'm saying is, like, how dumb we are, realistically, is we go, okay, the plan started falling apart real quick.
Right.
Instead of trying to go, okay, we need to get rid of these motherfuckers, they decided to go, well, no, keep going with plan A.
Well,
I'm sitting there going like,
well, here was
I'm like,
well, the whole thing about that, the whole thing about that is basically human bravado.
What was the Australian striker?
Egotistic nature, because every pilot is.
Well, no, it wasn't even that, because but the Australian pilots wanted to help jump in and help get rid of them, but they were ordered not to by command.
Then why send them out to begin with?
Exactly.
That's what I was just about to say.
That was one of the.
Why send Striker out?
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm like, I understand y'all had a plan and y'all really want this plan to go off, but like, these 2 kaijus are obviously in your way.
And they're ripping your boys apart.
Your shits apart. You need to get out there and do something about it. I'm about to say.
Regarding that battle, though, you also have to consider how it turned from what seemed typical, air quotes, because we don't know for that fight.
Yeah.
It seemed like typical fights for these guys, and then almost at the drop of the hat, The Chinese one is gone. Done.
The part that gets me though is okay. We have the 3-arm thing, right?
They never used the 3-arm.
Yeah, they did. But here's the thing: the monster they fought had the 2 claws and the tail.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So now we're kind of starting to see some.
That was a subtle jab.
It was a subtle jab, but you're starting to see that.
Left hand grabs the buzzsaw.
But the same thing with the EMP to me. It's to me it is similar to the EMP to me because you're looking at this going, all right, 2. I was like, 3rd one. Oh, okay. Here's my 3rd. Hi, boom, done. All right.
Well, that's what I thought. Like the left one grabbed the buzzsaw, the right hand grabbed the buzzsaw, and then the middle buzzsaw was just like, nah, I'll wait. I ain't got nothing to do, dog. I'll wait. I'd have stuck that thing straight up the creature's nose and went, win or lose, that's where it's going.
Instead, we had the hip toss from Doom, including rotating legs.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel this way about a lot of zombie things.
Yeah.
You know, you watch a zombie show, and they put up the camp, and you're like, okay, we're in Anderson, South Carolina. I believe our population is something like 45,000. So, let's say you're in a group of 20. That means there's 44,980 possible zombies out there. Every one of them you kill is one more that can't bite you tomorrow.
Yep.
Why do they not do this? I watched Walking Dead and they're getting tired of killing them at the fence. Bullshit. Get stuck on the fence. I'll kill them all day, every day. Every one of them I kill is another one that ain't eating me tomorrow.
If anything, that's a psychological boost. Just get rid of them.
Yeah.
They're not endless. They can't reproduce
morality.
I think if Brown was here, he would remind us that the story took precedence over the logic.
It can.
You didn't have a shared language. You had a command structure that was very adamant and stubborn. These things happen, okay?
I mean,
I'm on. This was stupid. Some of this.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I don't care how stubborn that commander was. In my opinion, I'm like these lives matter, regardless of who they were. They should have been in there fighting, getting the job done. Now, up until the EMP happened, which probably would have happened anyways, even if he had showed up.
Now, granted,
and
we had a plot point that said Gypsy can't be deployed. Otherwise,
yeah, because the pilots weren't right yet.
Otherwise, it would have been 3-on-2 to begin with, and that's with Striker and Reserve. Striker and Reserve, so it wouldn't be any danger.
Well, and like I said, where's the long-range weapons? Even if the robots don't carry it, hey, I know it took 6 days to shoot these guys down, but you can't tell me Sidewinder missiles out of a F-something or other jet isn't going to cause these things to take a step back and a hiccup. It could be the momentary distraction that the giant robot needs to poke it in the eye.
Speaking of eyes, we did see a flare gun happen to burst an eyeball.
Seriously, they got out of the robot.
That was funny, though.
He's like, well, I think we could just piss. He's like, all we did was piss it off.
I think we pissed it off. I was like,
yeah.
A flare gun. It's not so much armaments as it is inconsistency with damage.
Seriously. Robot gets slammed in the building, no big deal. Got shot in the eye with a flare gun. I understand that flare guns are hot, but these things are coming out of what looks like, a crack in the earth and molten everything?
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh,
well, yeah.
Interdimensional portals.
Now, the plot point where the one monster's pregnant, which
hilarious,
which is hilarious and amusing,
and it served a plot purpose.
It really did serve a plot purpose because the scientist who had dove into one of the kaiju brains he had,
an old damaged secondary brain.
He needed another one, so he goes meets Ron and all that kind of stuff, and he's asking for a brain. We found out Ron technically had done it himself as well.
I don't think he did.
He did? I thought he did.
Yeah,
he did, because that's why he has the messed up eye.
That was because he went to a public shelter.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
Got wrecked.
I made that joke. I think.
Oh, okay, that's what that was.
I could have sworn that's what he said.
Yeah, because I was about to say.
Because he said I did it. Because he said I did it myself years ago.
Yeah, because
he does say that.
The reason why he separated.
That's the reason why he grabs him by the eye and looks at his eye and saw like it was bloodshot and damaged.
He recognized it right off the bat.
Yeah, he recognized that part.
Because if he hadn't done it himself, he would have never figured it out.
That part.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't done that yourself and felt the after effects, you're not.
You wouldn't have known that was what happened.
Yeah. Because when he takes off his shade and he goes, that's because I did it myself years ago.
Yo, you're going
to. But no, that particular line comes when he's exiling into the public shelter.
No. That's when he's trying to tell. That's when he's trying to tell him.
This is the Mike and Dave conversation about.
It is, but I think you're getting some of your lines mixed up because.
No, that's before he sends him to the shelter. He said, "I don't know
about
you." I'm going to go back to my personal shelter. You're going to go to a public one. And he goes like,
because they're after you. Because that's what he says. Because they're after you.
And he goes
like,
know why? How do you know that?
Because I know myself. Because I did it myself. That's how he figured. That's why he.
And
that's why he pulls it off.
Fucked up eye because the same shit happened to him.
Because he didn't want to give him the brain.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he figured it out, he didn't really want to. But once he survived and came back, he was like, "All right, fuck it, I'll give you the damn brain." You know, and then.
But I'm willing to agree to disagree here. I'm willing to pause this and
Actually,
rewatch that segment.
No, we're not doing it.
We're not pausing it, but afterwards we can rewatch it.
Sure, after the show.
After this is done, we'll rewatch it.
After the show, we'll look at it and we'll put it on Facebook.
But beyond that point, he needs the secondary brain. So after they take out the two kaijus at the city, you know, they go in, they go, oh, the brain's damaged. You're like, ah, crap, what now? And it's like, something's not right.
Yeah, dude, I don't give a damn how much money you get for Chianti liver of kaiju monster. I'm not walking into the middle of
the problem about it was they're hearing something go thunk, 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 and I'm thinking, and he's like, it's a heartbeat. The second I hear it's a heartbeat, why the hell are the guys still in there? I'm about to say that means there's a possibility that thing's still alive.
That's the other thing is,
get out of there.
Why wouldn't you listen to the doctor?
Admiral Ackbar should have spoke up right quickly.
Well, the doctor spoke real quickly. It's pregnant.
Well,
it's like.
But you figure the guys in there would have reacted quicker, or at least gone, something's not right here, and
actually at least left and done something.
GTFO.
Oh.
So we have kind of through all of this just really realized that while we enjoy the film, at sometimes it's just a little too simplistic, stupid.
It is.
It's serving its own plot more than a kind of a sense of reality.
Because even stuff like, you know, Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, even to a certain point, they'll put some form of logic in somewhere that actually makes sense.
Well, there's a lot of logic in preserving the body to actually get to a brain.
I mean,
pumping it full of CO2 like any labros? I can't. No, not lobotomy.
I was about to say
any laboratory would do to actually preserve like a brain like that.
Yeah, the doctor says it in the script.
It's flooding the cavity for any type of labroscopy, whatever. It's a type of surgical process, and it works on kaijus to preserve them for, you know, the black market sinister. Bone powder, very good male enhancement. I take myself $500 a what?
Pound.
Thank you.
Well, why don't we go ahead and wrap this up with the final question that Mr. Brown would always present to us.
Uh-huh.
Do you think this is Toku 101? Why don't we start with the new guy, Mr. Nodine? If you were going to say to someone, you should watch a Toku film, I know you've never seen one, would you give this as a good example? For an introduction.
I believe so.
Okay. That's your final word?
Yeah, that's my final word.
Me? The introduction to it? There's so many other shows that I could probably put before this as an introductory to Tokusatsu, in a way. And
the thing with this, though,
because
it kind of holds your hand.
It
don't
does.
Have to do a lot of thinking.
There are other things that hold your hand, though.
Yeah, I'm about to say. To be honest, if I present something with Power Rangers, or you know the old Ultraman shows or anything like that, I think would probably be a slower intro to this.
If we separate the Sentai from the Kaiju, and we call this Kaiju,
well, that's what I said. That's what I said. Ultraman. I'm like, because that
is Ultraman Kaiju.
It's he guy grows giant to fight other giant monsters, so it's kind of works in a sense.
William, you want to field it? Do you think this would be a good introduction for people? Chris is saying no. Mike's saying yes.
I'll say 50-50.
Well, that's helpful.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm just
the jury's out. He needs more data.
So you were with those fellas.
I would say yes. And now, I've only seen 2 American created kaiju films. The one Godzilla movie with Matthew Broderick that most people in this circle of the people who do this show hate. And I thought it was an okay film as long as you didn't call it Godzilla. If it was like, hey, there's a giant monster eating New York, and hey, Matthew Broderick's here to help, it was an okay film. I think this was a better for the entry because of its simplicity and fun, and on top of it, the visual aspects were great.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So I would call this Kaiju 101. Now, actually, it may be Introduction to Kaiju. Once you get done watching this one, then we'll go into what's real Kaiju, and you can like it, too.
Exactly.
Maybe like that. I would give you room for that.
All right.
I would say yes. For my Toku 101 class, this would actually be for the lesson plan of the American take on Toku in film. Done. I would use this as my film.
I get that. I agree with you. I mean, because you think about it, how many times have we talked about certain Godzilla, Return of Godzilla, the Kamen Rider movies, the shows? How many times have there been, like, chalk it up to Japanese culture? Chalk it up to Japanese culture. And in this one,
that's not quite why I...
Actually,
I know, but
I actually see where he's going with it. And actually, I guess if
it's good.
I'm not going to really completely change my mind of whether this is good or bad for an introductory. It's just that since it's, English, American type deal, yes, it would pull people in a little bit faster.
You may have a wider variety of knowledge than I do.
And
in my mind, I just can't rank a good introductory film higher than this. That would be an American take at all. There's not a very wide selection.
You're putting it in an American category. A good introduction for an American film.
American take on...
Okay.
Yeah.
But in general, the idea is on all levels.
In general, when I say, I think all of it. For Japan, here, whatever, I still don't consider this number one introductory.
See, I look at it, and this is something that we've gotten on a little bit in the past. When we talk about whether we recommend it for Toku 101, I think of it as part of a class. I think of it as you have a scheduled number of days. I figure I would probably have 2 different shows or series. This is a movie. This is a one and done. You watch it. The next day of class is when you discuss it, and you're done within 2 days.
Well,
you can fit more movies.
There's no wrong
answers. Why I have
True.
This is why I actually give a lesson plan name for this one. This is why I'm choosing that.
Okay.
And why I feel like it would be part of my curriculum.
Well,
I'm still doing schooling. That's probably also why I think that way.
I picked this movie because so many people had A, commented that they liked it.
Yes.
B, commented that if you didn't know much about Tokusatsu, that they thought it was kind of a good entry point. I mean,
yeah.
I like Godzilla. But to me, Godzilla isn't kaiju, it's art.
Huh.
It's an art film. They were trying to say stuff.
The genre built from the art.
Right. And you can argue that Godzilla did say it, didn't say it, was heavy-handed, was too subtle, got lost in translation, was a story that everyone can understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back and forth. You can argue these points all day, every day. But because you can, I think that's what makes it art. Or at least an in-depth piece of art.
Okay.
This is fun. This is entertainment. And while we can sit here and go, what's wrong with teamwork? They didn't have it. What's wrong with the equipment? It was stupid.
Which gives us to the point where Mike Brown has constantly said to everybody, don't look too close, you'll see the zipper.
And this is definitely treading a lot of old ground, so it's easy to make
we looked too close and saw the Windows 95 logo. Oh, man. So, does anybody have any closing remarks?
No. Take us home.
Sure.
Take us home.
So, for Electric City Sentai Denzicaster and our host on his honeymoon, Mike Brown, this has been
the one and running Joe.
Mike.
American Black Man Chris.
William.
And Dave. And we hope you and the people listening will tune in next time. Woo-hoo!